Okay, folks, my name is Gary E. Meyer. I was to testify at the New Jersey Senate hearing on June 26, on Monday, 2017 in New Jersey. I was going to testify in regard to New Jersey expungement reform laws, which I'll talk about a little bit later. But I'm going to show you everything that is wrong with New Jersey and why people are fleeing at a rate that is unprecedented as far as I know. I used to love this state and was here for over 20 years. What you're about to hear is listed on the New Jersey Legislature website, and you'll go into Senate Judiciary Committee and you'll go to Committee Room 6 at 3 o'clock on Monday and hit listen, and I have it queued up over here. And without further ado, you're going to die when you hear this, folks, but I want you to listen to it unedited. So here it goes. It might take a second before we cue it up, but pay close attention. It's only 10 minutes long here.
Next will be a member of the New Jersey Election Law Enforcement Commission, the Honorable Marguerite T. Simon of Edgewater. We'll come back to her if she's not here. Let's move on and be a member of the New Jersey Transportation Trust Fund Authority, Gregory Lavallee of Bridgewater. I say your name right? I'm sorry. Lavallee. Okay, sorry about that. Mr. Lavallee, please remain standing and raise your right hand for the administration of the oath.
Good afternoon. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony about to give here today is true, correct, complete, to the best of your knowledge, information, and belief?
Thank you, sir. Please be seated. And again, thank you for your willingness to continue in this capacity as a member of the New Jersey Transportation Trust Fund Authority. Appreciate that. Would you please address the committee with your opening remarks?
Chairman Scutari and members of the Judiciary Committee, thank you for allowing me to appear before you today. I'd like to thank Governor Christie for his nomination and reappoint me to the Transportation Trust Fund Authority. I would also express my gratitude to my home county senators, Senator Doherty and Senator Bateman, for your courtesies during this process. Look forward to continuing my service on the authority and would make myself available to any questions.
Chair, I have some questions. Thank you, Chair. Through you. Just taking some notes when we were asking questions of one of the nominees for the Horizon, and it brought up a couple of concerns. So, through you, first of all, you serve on Choose New Jersey through the chair?
Yes, I do.
And what do you do there?
I'm on the board of directors.
And what is your job as one of the board of directors?
We go through the agenda items that Ms. Brown had indicated earlier, and try to move an economic development agenda for our state.
And who's your executive director?
I'm sorry?
Who is your executive director?
Well, off the top of my head, I don't know.
You're a board member, you don't know who your executive director is?
No, I mean, I go to the board meetings, I look at the agenda.
I can't make this stuff up, guys.
I'm sorry.
No, I don't know who holds that position at the moment.
Going through your application, there's a couple of questions that I have for you. Under question 20, under political contributions, it has 2013, 2014, 2015, 2016, that you're contributing, it appears, IUOE EPAC 800 and the operating engineers 825 PAC 104. What do those contributions represent? They seem to be the same number every year for the last 4 years.
It's a voluntary payroll checkoff to two different organizations.
And can you explain the first one and then explain the second one?
The first one is my international union. I'm an officer of the international union.
Right.
The second one is my local union. I'm an employee of the local union.
And where do those funds get deposited, if you know, or used?
They get deposited into two different PAC accounts, and they're put in front of committees for political donations.
We heard some questions for one of the other applicants about two salaries. I notice on your statement of finances you have two salaries, one for the local 825 and one for the IUOE.
Pay attention,
Can
folks.
you explain for your first salary, the local 825, what do you do for that salary?
I'm the business manager of the local union. I'm responsible for all of the business operations, the contract negotiation and administration of the benefits and contracts of 7,000 members.
So you're in charge of the benefit management for 7,000 members?
Yes.
And for the other salary you draw, the IUOE, what do you earn, what do you do to earn that salary?
I'm an officer of the International Union. I help set the policy and guide the International Union and become involved in several meetings and duties that befall me there.
Is that separate from the local 825?
Yes, it is.
Can you explain the difference, and is there any intersection between the two?
Not really, no. Other than we, at the International, we have oversight over all the locals through the United States and Canada, and sometimes we have to intercede if somebody's having an issue or a problem. Sometimes we get sent in to straighten things out or to bring things back to order.
What do you mean straighten things out? What are you referring to through the chair?
Well, for instance, if a local ends up in chaos for some reason, and it does happen from time to time, we'll get sent in as a small committee to just restore law and order.
And how many hours do you spend a week with the IUOE versus the local 825? How many hours do you have on one job, and how many hours at the other job?
Unbelievable.
With my local job, it's probably somewhere between 70 and 80
hours a week.
Yeah.
And how about the other job?
The other job, it really depends on workflow. The workflow does vary.
So just give me an estimate on an average month or year how much you spend earning the 89,000.
It could be somewhere between the neighborhood of 20 to 40 hours a week.
So that's 100 to 120 hours a week between the two?
Yes, Senator.
And how much time do you have for the Transportation Trust Fund Authority?
I've attended all of the meetings when they're called.
So I want to be clear here. So 100 to 120, or what did he say, 100 to 125 hours a week? That's what he says he's working at 2 jobs, and he's here for an appointment from the New Jersey Trust Fund Authority that has billions and billions of dollars going through it from New Jersey. So he's already saying he works 100, 125 hours a week at 2 jobs, and New Jersey's going to appoint him to a 3rd job. Isn't that nice? Here we go. This is the Senate committee. I can't even make this up. I saw this with my own eyes. I got this by accident.
How much time do you dedicate in a given month to that authority?
Depends on how large the agenda packet is when they send it out before the meeting. I could spend a few hours reading it to a few minutes reading it.
And given your jobs at 825 and the OU, where you spend 100 to 120 hours a week, is there any intersection or conflict with the work of the Transportation Trust Fund Authority? Is there any overlap or potential conflicts?
I haven't found any yet, no.
There's no conflict. So when you're on the Transportation Trust Fund Authority, what are you actually overseeing or voting on?
We're talking about the capital plan of the authority.
And did those capital projects or authorities ever impact or benefit the local 825?
Only in the sense that those projects are publicly bid, and if a signatory contractor happens to be the low bidder, then our members would work there.
Do you vote on that if it impacts 825?
I don't ever have a vote where it's a direct impact, no.
So do you ever vote through the chair on any contract when you're at the Transportation Trust Fund where there's a benefit to local 825?
No, Senator, I don't.
You don't. So has there ever come a time where there's a potential conflict where you have to go to a general counsel or private counsel to say, hey, with my 2 jobs where I work 100 to 120 hours a week, there's a possible conflict with the authority and the work that's being given out. It could benefit one of the employment agencies or the local 825 or the OU that I work for. Have you ever had that?
I haven't seen a conflict, no, Senator.
You haven't seen a conflict?
No.
Okay. On your questionnaire, you filled out you've had a couple of moving violations. I assume they're just routine speeding tickets?
Yes, Senator.
Nothing recent?
No, sir.
Okay.
The Sopranos.
And you paid up with all your fines and penalties?
Yes. Sopranos don't have anything on this.
On question 26,
this is crazy.
With regard to the question, has any organization for which you were an officer, director, employee, or active participant ever been a subject of an investigation or possible violation? Your response is several officers and or business representatives of Local 825 were charged and convicted of various violations of federal labor law in 2008. Can you just give some clarity or definition or expand on that response?
Yes, we had about 4 or 5 people in the hierarchy of our union who were arrested on federal corruption charges, charged, pled guilty, and serve their penalties for it.
And did you have any role in that at all in terms of being questioned or having to fix the problem, or did you have any role at all? Were you questioned by anybody?
Briefly, a few just passing questions. I had no involvement in anything.
Did you have a lawyer?
Yes.
Okay, and there was briefly passing questions in what regard?
Just asked about the operation of the union. Somebody had embezzled funds, and I was just asked about my knowledge of it.
And which officers and business representatives were actually charged and convicted? Just give me the titles. I don't need the names, just the titles or their job description.
The business manager, who would have been my predecessor, the president, and there were 2 business agents.
Did you work with any of those 4 individuals?
Yes.
And what was your relationship with the 2 business agents?
We were co-workers.
You were co-workers?
Yes.
And with the president, you had a relationship?
We were co-workers.
And with the business manager, your predecessor?
We were
Did you work for him or her?
I worked for him at the time, yeah.
Okay, and there was no allegations brought against you, either civilly or criminally?
No, Senator, not at all.
And was there a receivership or monitoring installed?
Yes, by the International Union.
By the International?
Yes.
And who was in charge of that?
A man by the name of Dan McGraw was the international supervisor.
And did you have to report to that individual?
Yes, sir.
And since 2008, have there been any other violations either cited by the federal or state agencies or through that monitor or receiver?
Absolutely not. No, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Senator O'Toole. Anything further on the nominee?
It gets better, guys.
Moved by Senator Bateman. Seconded? Second. Seconded by Senator Corneli. Roll call on the nomination.
Listen to these senators' names.
On the nomination, Senator O'Toole.
I'm going to vote yes. I'm a little concerned with the
That was a yes by Senator O'Toole.
Thank you. Senator Krillos has indicated a yes. Senator Doherty. Yes. Senator Carnelli.
Yes.
Senator Bateman.
Yes.
Senator Weinberg.
Yeah, I'm going to vote yes, but I just want to clarify something. Do you know who runs Choose New Jersey? Maybe you were confused by the use of the title?
Jesus.
If that's who Senator O'Toole was referring to, I know who the CEO is.
If you don't know what the
Thank you.
executive director is and you're on the board, I mean, that's crazy.
Senator Sack has indicated a yes. Senator Smith. Senator Poe. Senator Lesniak. Senator Gills indicated yes. Chairman Scutari.
Just one last question, Mr. Lively. You have enough time for this position. I mean, you've been doing it for quite a while. How long have you been been on the transportation board? Okay. You satisfied that you're able to dedicate the amount of time appropriate for this position?
Yes, I am.
My vote is yes.
Nomination is released.
Congratulations and best of luck. Thank you. Okay. Final interview, if she is here. I think Senator, she's trying to get hold of her.
Okay. So, let me turn this around here. All right, now I'm at work, working my tail off. And I work 55 hours a week, and I drive 43 miles each way to work every day. And this guy, and I'm tired. I drive 40 hours a month back and forth. And I work because I have to. And I've been in business 21 years. He says he works between 100 and 120 hours a week. And of course, he's getting appointed to, again, the New Jersey Turnpike. New Jersey Trust Fund Authority, I'm sorry. And I just kind of look at this and say, are you kidding me? The New Jersey Trust Fund Authority. So this is where our money's going, folks. Now, the senators that voted for this, there's no way somebody could work 100 and 120 hours a week and then go work somewhere else on our tax money. Or whether it's not, it's considered tax money, it's trust fund authority money. Right? I mean, it just doesn't make sense. These same senators that just did this just voted on expungement law. Bill 3307, or S 3307, if you will, that was by Senator Cunningham to change the expungement laws in New Jersey, which, just incidentally, if you commit perjury, you can never get your record expunged in New Jersey. Conspiracy to commit perjury, you can't get it expunged. If you sell an ounce of pot in New Jersey, you can't get your record expunged. I have a second-degree CDS offense for selling cocaine. Now, a little bit of cocaine that is 7 grams, which an addict can snort up in a week, which is less than this much cocaine, this little thing here, less than this much, okay, 7 grams. If you get that between 7 grams and 5 ounces is second degree, you can never get that expunged. That's what I have from 1992. I was young, dumb, stupid, and suffering from a gambling addiction. I find it appalling that the very same senators that just voted on the expungement bill, that were there to do the expungement bill, just acted this way. It was unbelievable, right? Ultimately, that Monday they didn't vote on the bill because they said nobody was there to speak on the bill. I said, I am. All the people that are getting funding from New Jersey for prison reentry and all this other stuff, they were nowhere to be found. Where was the NAACP? Nowhere to be found. Where's all these supposed advocates for reform? Nowhere to be found. Where's Gary Meyer? I was there. I've been fighting 2.5 years to change some laws. And I'm a conservative guy. I'm not advocating to let them all out. No, you do the crime, you do the time. No issues with that. My issue is if somebody's been out a long time, they've done all the accolades, done things, they should have a path out. If not, we're remanding them back into crime. If they can't get a job, they can't get professional licenses. My story real quick is I was suffering from a gambling addiction, got caught in '92. Selling drugs. I was clearly selling it and going to Atlantic City and spending all the money. I went to prison for a year, got out, went to Gamblers Anonymous, became the head of Gamblers Anonymous for Southern New Jersey Board of Trustees. Saw a therapist on my own, Rini Shapiro, wonderful woman who's passed now. And she suggested I go to the Wharton School. I graduated top of my class at Wharton. At the time, I was precluded from all loans and grants because Congress in their infinite wisdom said that if you have a drug conviction, you can't get loans and grants. I paid my way through Wharton, graduated magna cum laude. I was 1 class away from summa cum laude. And started a computer business with $2,000 that's done well. Ultimately, I've been in business 21 years. The computer business has drastically changed. I'm looking for new opportunities, and I can't get licensing. I can't even become a big pawn shop or something. I looked at getting a car dealer license. Can't do that. I thought about going to vet school. Because I did go back to school. I even went back to Louder. UPenn's a great school. But if I can't work and support my family, what can I do? What am I supposed to do? In Jersey, you're even precluded from cash assistance on welfare. Now, we could debate that thing or whatever. I like hand ups, not handouts. So what I'm looking for is ultimately opportunities for other people so that they have a way out, that it's incumbent upon them to change their life around. But ultimately, if you've changed your life around, and I've done a ton of community service, become taught at Urban Promise as a volunteer. I've talked to high school students year after year about the gambling addiction. Ran a gambling a hotline in my house, all for free. I do everything for free. I'm the animal coordinator for the city of Millville, New Jersey, which is a great, very business-friendly community. I own a large 19,000 square foot facility here, and I'm looking to do some other things with my business, but I'm limited license-wise. I've been approached for a CEO for a law firm that I didn't even apply for. I have case precedent at the appellate level. and I did that pro se. I did a federal case. I'm a linguist. German's my second language. I learned Spanish. I'm formally schooled in Thai. I've taken some Isan and some Mandarin Chinese, but very, very limited at this level. This has impacted my life. My wife is a foreign national. It took me over a year to get her in the country. Again, my record slows me down at every opportunity. I can't travel freely. I go to another country. I have it. So I'm at this Senate committee to testify, and I'm watching this. Now, if this, I mean, it just doesn't make sense. How could you possibly work 100, 120 hours a week, and then the Senate approves the guy? This is our tax money. The very same thing. I mean, looks criminal what just happened to me. And under New Jersey expungement laws, ironically, they wouldn't be able to clear their record. So this is one of the many reasons. Hell, if my business closed, and we're treading water right now, I'm trying to figure out what to do, and I'm limited with my limitations. I can't even go on unemployment in New Jersey. I've been paying into it for 21 years. But I can't get it because New Jersey says if you're the principal of the company, you have to pay into it, but you can't get it. Really? So I can't get unemployment, and you know, I want the opportunity to do some other things as far as I don't want anybody. I'll do it on my own, but if I'm statutorily precluded from getting licensing, say from the National Association of Security Dealers, things like that, what the heck am I supposed to do? I can't even work at CVS as a cashier, or a lot of companies for that matter. And I'm a bright guy. I try and do the right thing. I do tons and tons and tons of community service. I even helped somebody with an intervention for their son, sadly, that was on drugs this morning. And again, I do everything for free. I'm not a nonprofit. I have a food bank here for cats I have a cat loan cage program for trap, vaccinate, neuter, release. I'm actively involved in rescue and have been for decades. It's not like I just all of a sudden did this. But this state epitomizes just incompetence at so many levels. I also talked to Chris Christie. I have a pardon on his desk that's been sitting up there for 2 years. 2 years. And I'll be frank, he was somebody that I really supported early on, and nothing's getting done. I talked to Chris Christie February 13th, 2017 on New Jersey 101.5. I also have that recorded, that he promised me. I told him my story in a minute or less. He said, you're the kind of guy we're looking for to pardon a record, and you'll have a call tomorrow, and we're going to pull your record and have somebody from Governor's Council office call, and I'm going to give you the strongest consideration for a pardon. Look at my record. I'm a Kentucky colonel, and I became a Freemason. Did all so much community service. And I have 4,000 people following me on change.org. If you just type in Gary E. Meyer, you'll see it. But a lot of folks, if you read the comments, a lot of people that have helped. My mom's dying wish, she sent certified mail and said, hey, you know, I'm essentially going into some serious times here, you know, and she's getting ready to pass away. And she sent it to Chris Christie's office, and they lost the letter. I had people overseas I'd helped. They sent stuff FedEx. All that stuff was lost. Eventually, they found it at the governor's office. It's really clear that this whole addiction czar thing just doesn't really seem to ring true. Thank God I got over 2 decades clean from gambling, one day at a time. I have major support from 2 New Jersey prosecutors, a local NAACP chapter, my friend Michael DeLeon from Steered Straight. I've done so many things, including mentoring a ton of folks. Again, all for free. So I'm in my warehouse now, and you know, this is going to set some people off seeing this. I'm really upset at the New Jersey legislature more than anything here for doing this nonsense. The very same thing that, you know, it's funny, they're debating legal pot, and if you get busted selling an ounce of weed, and I'm not a drug supporter by any means, you know, you can't even get that expunged in Jersey. So this state has become a cesspool. And you talk about corruption. I've been asked for $10,000 cash to get my record out. I have another email where a person asked for a laptop in writing to help me. I kid you not. And I won't share that email or the name on it. But I got to tell you, this place epitomizes corruption. It's why within 1 block of my house, I have 5 houses for sale. And I live in a really nice neighborhood. And I used to love this state. But we have legislators that are not reliable, and I can tell you I've talked to half of them. I've talked to the governor, the lieutenant governor, the Senate majority leader, and at least a half a dozen senators directly, either face-to-face or on the phone. And the dog and pony show of prison reentry is a money game. Absolute money game. Don't you think that they really want to change. If they really wanted to change, they would have had real expungement reform. But those people aren't anywhere to be found. How come I'm not speaking at all the prosecutors' conferences on reentry? Why? They don't want change. They want to keep it just the way it is. There is so much money in reentry, recovery, and incarceration. I didn't really believe that. I was skeptical of that. But I'm convinced, absolutely convinced. On Facebook, I run New Jersey Prison Reform Group, and I'm not advocating for, oh, I want this kumbaya, and we're going to make it all nice for the prisoners and all that. Absolutely not. That's not me. That's not me. I'm only advocating for people that have really changed their life around. Give me a hearing. I can't get a hearing in the state for an expungement. Who the heck wouldn't do it? You look at my record, and somebody could really, really vet me. My gambling started just before I went in the Navy, and when I went in the Navy, it was off the charts because I was overseas and whatnot. But I'm totally disgusted living here. I have no future here. My only way out is a pardon from the governor's office. And I've been fighting 2.5 years, and I hear all these things, pro-life, cradle to grave, and everybody deserves a second chance, and not just 9 months, I'm cradle to grave. I've heard all this rhetoric and understanding addiction. Well, I was a compulsive gambler that was suffering, and again, I became the head of Gamblers Anonymous as chairperson, board of trustees, public relations, room chair, started rooms. I mean, just pretty much every position in Gamblers Anonymous other than Board of Regents, which is out in California. I'm well known, and you know, it's really sad. It's really sad. Even the Council on Compulsive Gambling in New Jersey, which is run by non-gamblers, they have a therapist that's a woman. Like, they don't really. You think they really advocate? No, because the state of New Jersey mandates that the casinos fund them, and then they put dog and pony show stuff up. They should look at this case and say, let's bring awareness to gambling, but they didn't. It's one of the things that's really wrong with New Jersey is who's driving the ship. I feel like this is the Fitzgerald over here. It's like, who's driving the ship here? This state was a state that I really loved before. We have extremely high taxes, and why? Because the corruption's clearly there. Give money, political contributions, let's go to this. I mean, this is insanity here. The FBI should lock half these people up. It's either they're incompetent or they're corrupt, or both. This message, I hope, takes off. This state is just ridiculous. We have the highest percentage. We have more people with criminal records than college degrees here. So it's just, and there's no way out. New Jersey's forcing people back into crime because you can't get your record expunged. And if you can't get a job, and you can't get licensing, and you can't get welfare, what the hell do you think people are going to do? What are they going to do? They gotta support themselves, right? And some of these knuckleheads will do it no matter what. They're going to do crime. And that's not who I'm addressing. What the hell am I supposed to do? And you're looking at a guy that did really well at this business. But I need to switch some gears and do some things. I need to get some professional licenses. Can't do it. Can't do it. Well, Gary, do something else. Basically, like, roads are blocked off. So you can get a $10, $12 an hour job, or you can commit crime. Because you can't live in Jersey for that kind of money. Sorry, that's my laptop battery. Listen, I hope you folks enjoyed it. Share it, like it, subscribe. I have a lot of ammunition that I have in my case, and people already warned, don't put this video up, don't put the video up, don't do it, Gary. You're going to have inspections on your building and all types of crap. Because this is how New Jersey works. It's pay to play here, it's corrupt as shit, and we have incompetent leadership. Absolutely incompetent leadership. Corrupt and incompetent, how's that? And this is really sad. This is really sad. And to have our governor is listed as addictions are, but yet his staff clearly, I did get the call the next day from the governor's office, but they said, well, you know, you have a drug conviction. Nothing else. I've never been in trouble since '92, just FYI. I think 2 traffic tickets, I think, just for, I don't know, speeding or something like that. Nothing. So I'm not leaving anything out. It's crazy. I hope you like this. I could tell you a lot more stories, but that's it. And thanks for listening.